Good afternoon, all of you. This is the last session of the fourth day of Science Leadership Workshop. Here with us, Dr. Vandana Vinayak. She is a faculty at Dr. Hari Singh Gaur Central University in Sagar, Madhya Pradesh. Dr. Vinayak has very interesting admix. She is an expert in forensic sciences, in police and protection forces, plus diatom biotechnology. So it's a very interesting combination, marine biology with police. So yeah, she's going to share that exciting story with us now today. And she has got so many prestigious awards, including Noel Deer Gold Medal from President of India, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam in 2009. And she has recently been awarded with a major Indo-French bilateral scheme. Net worth is around 3 crore rupees. It's called CEFIPRA or IARD. And yes, so this is her homepage. So if you want to contact, just visit that homepage, vandanavinayak.com. So without wasting much time, I warmly welcome you, ma'am, for our workshop here.
Thank you.
I don't see you. Oh, yeah, okay. So welcome to our science leadership workshop, and over to you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Felix, for this opportunity. Okay, well, I'll start the screen sharing. Very good evening, all of you. As introduced by Dr. Felix, I'm working as assistant professor at Dr. Hari Singh Gaur Central University, Sagar, Madhya Pradesh. And today I would be giving my thoughts on science, which makes its way via an original idea. This is what we are doing in science, just one true original idea. So today I would not be discussing on any research theme. Today, as told, I would be discussing my journey since childhood till now, what I have been thinking and how I have been over here. So a brief, my academic qualifications, I must tell you, before I proceed, after listening the very big scientist since last 2 days, I feel very small. I am rather small. And I feel that I have not yet contributed much in science, but yes, I'm determined to contribute more and more every day. So I'm basically a mixture of science person. So who did PhD in biochemistry from Kurukshetra University, Haryana. And I did my MSc in biochemistry majors with minors in microbiology. At the time I did my MSc, I was not sure whether I will do PhD or not. I mean, it's a long journey. And my BSc was from Guru Nanak Dev University, Amritsar. Yes, I was a rank holder, whether it was my very beginning school life, whether it was my primary session, till my whole studies, I have been a merit scholarship holder. And right now, I'm assistant professor at Hari Singh Gaur Central University, and my major research interests include bio-nanotechnology, forensic science, plant tissue culture, diatoms, biofuel, molecular biology, and biochemistry. Well, this is all a mixture of science I'm doing. I don't know where it will take me, but yes, whatever is coming my way, I'm just grabbing that opportunity. So my journey started since I was very small. I mean, I belong to a small family, one brother, one sister, my father in army. And as such, there was no discrimination, gender discrimination regarding the studies or whatever, things we have to do at home or outside. Uh, but only thing was that I had to do in my home was to study. No other household job was given to me to do, like you being a girl, you have to do this or that. But my only passion was to study, and somehow the excitement was always there. Why and how, and can I do it If I see a doctor, I was like, can I be a doctor? If I used to see an engineer, can I do this? If I see a garage, a car repairer, I used to wonder, can I do that also? So I was in a dilemma whether I can do this, I can do that. So the career choice, I'm not sure what career I wanted to be, but I was just focused that science somehow made me very comfortable, in a very comfortable zone. I remember when I was small, and my elder brother, who was not devoted to science, I used to, being younger, I used to say him that it's so easy, you don't get it. And being younger, I used to teach him chemistry. Well, the background of the family was a little during those times. I think every household, my friends, they used to get married after graduation, and in my home also this kind of thing of marriage was going on, and I was least interested. But being an obedient, very obedient child, I was like whatever they said, I did that. Though I wanted to join army also, and as there was a family trend of joining army, my brother was already captain during those times, and my family, my cousins, they were all in Air Force. So I too wanted join the army, but somehow my brother disagreed with it, and I didn't question, and I just moved on. So slowly, the things changed, and the circumstances were not very favorable for me. But I was alive, and I thought that if I'm alive, I need to do something. And and I believe that every problem which is coming my way, it's going to open some doors, some opportunity to move on. So every failure which was smashed on my face, I took that as an opportunity. I mean, it's a long story, but I would be very brief. I joined some college for some lecturership, and I was after 3 months I was pushed off, saying that we got a PhD candidate, so please move on. So that determined that I need to do the PhD now. So later in 2005, my brother, Major Kapil Vinayak, he was martyred just the time when I joined PhD. And the very next day, I was in my research lab, though in the evening I moved to my hometown. So that day, and after so many years, there was a slight change in the behavior also. Some of my old friends, they have witnessed my transformation from a very carefree to a very secluded introvert person who does not talks with people so easily. So, but only thing I knew that I can do is that I could just do hard work, whatever task I want to do. Just give me the work I want to do, and that with honesty. So, despite of the different circumstances around me, people talking about different things which were not getting into my head, and my fascinations towards different topics of science, like whether it was the northern lights or it was the life beyond earth or how small a microorganism, there is some silly things, some mad things, I should tell you, how a small microorganism could have evolved to a macro one. All those thoughts which haunt a child also, it still keeps on haunting me. And that very bad habit of perfection, which made few friends, was because of this particular reason, that I always needed perfection in everything I do, and in my surroundings I also needed perfection. Beside the work I do, beside my surrounding, I needed perfection. So with science haunting in my mind, and for that one, I'm a very small person again, I will say, but I dare to dream a little bit that maybe someday I will find something. I don't know what, but yes, I constantly read science things, literature, science magazines, and am drifted towards that something I want to do for the community, for people to remember me. So I'm just reminded of Robert Frost's line, "Smiles to go before I sleep." I hope this is favorite line of many young minds. So during the start of my PhD, I still remember when I joined my PhD, my most favorite professor, Professor Ashok Kumar Dhawan from HAU. I joined his research lab in a research station. And when I joined, he told me, okay, Vanna, just write collect some literature, and this is the topic we are going to do PhD on. And you collect some literature because we need to write a synopsis for PhD. Okay. And I don't know, I was like, what was going on in my mind through all these years, because there was a break in my career, break in my studies after in the mid of my post graduation. I was like married, and after some circumstances, which I don't want to highlight over here, I opted for PhD because of the many failures smashed on my head. So when he told me to write some lines or some pages for your this synopsis, you write it, try it. So since the gap was also large, my mind was full of so many curiosities. I have been reading and listening. So one female which was on my head madly was Ma'am Kiran Majumdar. She was on my head madly. And instead of writing the literature on the topic I was given to, I collected all the different literature for how to open a biotech company. I was there to write a synopsis, and I collected the material, spiral binded it, and showed it to my supervisor, Professor A.K. Dhawan. And he was such a noble soul. He just laughed away. He said, "You want to open a biotech company?" I mean, with not a penny in my pocket. I said, "Yes, I want to open a biotech company." I said, Vanna, but I don't know anything about business. How will I help you? I said, but you are a you're a professor. You know how to research, and you tell me. I mean, I have collected so many themes. You tell me, guide me. He said, a lot of money is required. And I was like I mean, innocently, I said, we can always, I mean, you have so much money, and you can help, and you can take your share, and I will take my share later on when I earn some interest. And he just laughed away again. And he said, first you do your PhD, and I promise we will collaborate later in life. So, well, I'm still waiting on when I'll open a small biotech company. So, since my PhD till now, I have seen many scientists with whom I am inspired and who are my role models. Not the least, I met Professor C.N. Rao last year in Kottayam, the Bharat Ratni. He has been, I mean, such a noble soul. I saw him talking, so down to earth. Then Professor Ashutosh Sharma, Secretary DST. Then Professor Chandrima Saha, the first woman president of INSA. Every time I open the INSA website, I'm so inspired seeing a lady as the president of INSA. You know, she inspires many young minds. Padma Shri Professor Dipankar Chatterjee, ex-president of Indian Academy of Sciences, Bangalore. Well, this academy inspires me a lot. I attended its workshop last year in NCPOR, Goa too. Yes, not the least, Professor Gagandeep Kank. When she won the prestigious Royal Society of London, I was so happy. Wow, a lady from India, and she has won this prestigious Royal Society of London award. Kiran Majumdar Shah, still she's on my head. Professor R.K. Kohli, sir, I have no words for him. The first time I met him, I had no idea like what great scientist he is. I still remember, maybe he does not remember. First time I met him in some workshop, my guide introduced me to him. And second time I met him in a train, and he was talking about science. I was asking question, and he was talking about science, and he was full of so many, ideas. Whenever I meet him, he gives me so many ideas. Such a man of full academic knowledge and caliber. So Professor Renu Swaroop and many more, at least to mention the Academy, the Indian Academy of Science Bangalore, I'm much inspired of. And my role model, many of you know Professor Ashok Dhawan. This was my best day of my life when I met this person in the research station of HAU at Uchani. and there was no looking back. I basically I learned everything, lessons of life from this noble soul. He not only taught me how to do research, but he also taught me many life strategies to go on. He tell he told me how to say no to things which you don't like. This words of saying no I learned from him. He said, if you don't like something, have the ability to say no. And I learned that thing from him. And this was a prestigious day when he got the prestigious Noel Dare Gold Medal Award for a presentation. And adding me to this noble work was his, what should I say, greatness. So consequently, a year before, I got the Young Scientist Award again in a DST workshop, which was also very unexpected. But that these things now seems that these all small things now they seem small, but they were not small during those days when you are studying or you are evolving yourself. They are so motivational. They motivate you to do more and to add more, right? So these are just token of they are just stairs to move up and up. During the school days, what should I say? I did my schooling from City Montessori School, Lucknow, and many schools to add. And I think I'm still studying. I have a bundle of books everywhere in my room. So I still remember why am I studying? Why I used to study so much, and only one thing which haunted me, that I don't want my mother to wear that violet or purple gown in the auditorium when I was very small during the primary school education in CMS. There was a trend in the CMS that if you are rank one in your class, then your mother is, they dress your mother like a queen with a red gown, and she is acknowledged with mother queen. So I was so much, struck with this idea that my mother should always be queen. And for this particular notion, I used to study very hard. I should not be second, I should not be third. Though my brother, he was not so much interested in studies, and he always was. My mother was wearing green or gown green or purple. So later on, in the year 2011, I was acknowledged with this Fellow of City Montessori School Meritorious Student Award by the founder of City Montessori School, Mr. Gandhi. Though it seems like the hoarding of the school having your photograph, your brother's photograph being presented award posthumously, it seems a very big thing for me. Yeah, might be very small thing, but for me it was very big thing that on the school gate your photograph is being displayed on the flags, and 5 students are being displayed, and the award was for the ex students who have contributed to society. Now, this is something which I always wanted to do. I always wanted to contribute something for the society. It was not done deliberately to that I will attain something, but yes, I wanted to do something for the people. So I was just taking any opportunity which was coming in science or any possible way. So during my PhD, I remember because there was no position in the lab, so I was on a small post, but that money hardly mattered for me. It was just the thing that I just wanted to have my pocket money, and it seems so small, asking small petty money from your parents. So I joined the contract job at a State Forensic Science Laboratory, Haryana, and worked with full dedication, not realizing it's a contract job. I would be pushed off whenever they wanted. So during those time, I got this idea. Some new ideas were now pumping into my mind, though my PhD submission was going on. And in 2009, I was commissioned as on the regular job as a senior scientific officer at State Forensic Science Laboratory, Haryana. So immediately I submitted my PhD, I was appointed, I was commissioned. And so even though I wanted to do the postdoc, my daughter was small and some family constraints were there. rather many family constraints were there. So which just like it was like many thoughts were like bombarding constantly, like how will I manage, how will I take my daughter, how, who will take care of her. So it was not coming up, so I had no choice else to just drop these offers to go outside India. I wanted to be close to monitor her growing and monitor her studies and all those stuff. So, well, soon life settled again at the personal level. And then I have a very good husband who is a scientist and he understands the things. So now I have a full freedom, the same freedom which I had earlier. Now the freedom added that I could move to places also. When during the time when I was in my family under the privilege of my father and brother, the constraint was that they said, do whatever you want to do in and around Punjab, not outside. So, but now I had this opportunity that you could go anywhere in the world you want to go. You are free. Just have your wings fly. Whatever you want to do, do in science. Just you are free. And on the top of that, my daughter, she gave me the confidence. Without her support, I could not have done, I mean, anything. Are you listening me? I'm not sure. Hello.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Go ahead.
So my daughter plays a very important role. Though right now I'm in Sagar and my family is in Karnal, Haryana. Many times I have asked my daughter. Sometimes I feel bad that I'm here and they are there. Though I do visit them frequently, not during this time. And I have asked her many times, do you want that I am happy resigning from this post and coming back with you, the family? And my daughter answer is, Mom, I'm so proud to see you do work. This is inspiring me. If you come home, sit at home, doing the household job, that is also fine with me. But you inspire me to do something for science. And with time, she wants to do something which only time will tell. So during those times when I was doing my PhD, almost completing, very passionately, I was like in my lab at 7 a.m. in the morning, not leaving till my day's task was finished, whether it was 10 p.m. in the night. So one of the senior professor just passed by the lab, saw me working off hours, and she said, Vanna, work, but do remember to stop and look at the roses. I had nothing to answer back, but inside my brain, something was going on very badly. And the answer was, my brother sacrificed his life for the country. He made his name in the history. His name is written in the history. I will live and try to do the same. I don't know what I have done. I have done nothing till now. I have to do a lot, but I'm aiming for it. I'm doing hard work. I'm trying. I'm still struggling for it. So the theme is just to find an idea. So for me, the science was always interdisciplinary. From a person who is doing something in tissue culturing, finally in the forensic science laboratory, given to handle the crime cases, was something very opposite sides of the pole, I should say. So for a month, I was a little bit disturbed that where am I? What I want to do actually. But then I just balanced myself, and then I said, okay, I need to break some monotonous examination over here also. So I saw many cases of rape cases, death due to hanging, murder, death due to drowning. And here in death due to drowning, I found that a beautiful microorganism known as the diatom, it's a brown algae found in all the open water bodies. It plays a very crucial role to determine death due to drowning cases. It determines whether a person has died due to antemortem or postmortem drowning. So I was inspired by my that present director, FSL, Dr. M.K. Goel. I could never forget his idea inspiring this diatom in me. He just called me in his office and said, Banna, nobody works here on research. I want somebody to work on research. Please do something. So I explored and I found this diatom very interesting. So I started working day and night, and I wrote a project, very small project, very minor project, around 5 lakhs, and got it from DST, Haryana State Council of Science and Technology, and later acknowledged by Director General of Police, those time, Sir Ranjit Singh Dalal, as for the commendation certificate for working off hours and doing for science. I mean, during the history, in the history of forensic science laboratory. Well, I was motivated, and that is what I needed. My energy gets double every time I'm motivated. Uh, Even though if the rejections are there, everyone I think gets demotivated. But I think the best thing is to stand up again. It's okay to lie down for a while, to lay flat for a while. When the enemy is in front, you have to lay flat for a while. But then when the enemy goes, this demotivation goes, you need to stand up again and again attack. So I found that there are a lot of unnatural deaths going on. And when I studied this data, the National Crime Record, various statistics, there was like a lot of people are dying due to drowning. And if I tell you about the latest reports in a journal Lancet in December 2019, there were about 62,000 drowning deaths in India in the year 2017, which being the highest in Madhya Pradesh and northeastern states of Assam, accounting for about 11% of the drowning deaths. And a report by World Health Organization reported in January 2018, about 360,000 people died from drowning across the world in 2015, making it the third leading cause of unintentional injury-related deaths in the world. So, I mean, I wanted to do something now, because a lot of cases, they go unexamined, or the cause goes unexamined. So there was a report in Times of India also that about 80 people in India are dying due to drowning every day. And today we are so much afraid of Corona. I mean, it's just, we don't know what's going on. So before I'm just giving you a small introduction on what I'm working on. I'm working on diatoms, also inspired by this particular beautiful microorganism, the algae, that it was, I mean, the Nobel Prize inventor, Sir Alfred Nobel, his first discovery of dynamite, it belonged to diatomaceous earth from diatoms. So plus it has so many applications, not only in the forensic science, but it has huge number of applications in the nanotechnology and the material sciences. So basically they are aquatic unicellular eukaryotic plants that represent the major taxonomic division of kingdom Protista. And you will find these microorganisms in every open water bodies, and they are about 20,000 different genera. So I told you clearly that I couldn't go for postdoc, but I could manage to have some online mentors which were honest and who helped me genuinely. Among them was Michael Stringer, the amateur diatomist who just passed away 2 years back. So it was soon after I was commissioned in the lab, I reported a case of national importance, that was Shopia rape and murder case, that was much highlighted in Jammu and Kashmir. The case was handled to CBI and AIMS, and then from there, it was, I will not go into the details of the case, but yes, I just can add that the case was highlighted as a case of rape. But when it was examined, because the bodies were found in the water, so after being handled to CBI and AIMS New Delhi, the case was transferred to Forensic Science Laboratory, Haryana, and it was taken up by me. And it was reported as a case of drowning and not rape. So that was a major case which I did in 2009. And again, before I was just leaving, packing up from the State Forensic Science Laboratory, much after Nirbhaya rape and murder case in 2012, in 2013, again, there was a havoc that 3 little girls, they have been raped and murdered in Bhandara. So again, the case was transferred to Forensic Science Laboratory, Haryana, and was taken up by me. And again, the case was that of drowning and not rape and murder. Soon I was now trying to do something in science writing, trying to write research papers, moving from a different topic, what I did in PhD. I came across some online mentors. That time I had never met physically. So I met this Professor Richard Gordon, who is also known as the father of data and nanotechnology. He had been such a noble soul. He guided me at every step. So many things he taught me, I have no words for him. And another Professor Benoit Schippers from France. I collaborated with him in my this recent project from Indo-French project also, and he came for GAN also. I've seen people who are so knowledgeable, they are so noble, they are so down to earth, and this is what I have learned. I'm trying to be the same. In 2013, I moved into academics. As soon as I moved into academics at Harrison War Central University, Professor Gordon, he gave me a small piece of advice. He said, you take it or not, but just a small piece of advice, keep it. You are entering the world of knives and swords. I, I just, I just heard and said, okay, fine. Like such knives and swords are everywhere. If you work, these are everywhere, but you have to move on with positivity. But yes, so I was in a department, being a person of life sciences, I was in a small department of forensic science with 6 to 7 faculties and only 1 or 2 people doing something in research. So it was very tough for me to start with no person working in my field. So it was very tough for me to start, and there were lots of how will I do, how will I manage, how because science is not, you need a collaboration, and that too with a very small lab with limited resources and a lot of constraints in the university. I hope people who are in the university know that there are a lot of constraints, somewhere less, somewhere more, which are uncountable. But I always believe that I should move on, maybe little small steps. I need to move on. If I stop, it would be a stagnancy. I need to move on. These are something very common things you all know, but actually these things, they work. I have experienced these things in my own life. So my principle of moving on, which is a very common principle, but actually it is a very reliable principle to move on. Even a small step every day, a small addition to your work, it counts one day. So very shortly, I was in collaboration with, again, a very good person who was Alexander Humboldt Fellow from IIT Kanpur and was in the chemistry department in my university, Dr. Kashti Ballabh Joshi, was an expert in AFM and nanopeptides. And I realized because now I was trying to being an independent person doing research after PhD. Now I have to start my own research independently. I realized who is a collaborator. I mean, there were many offers, people offering to be a collaborator, but something didn't match. Some vibes didn't match. And some vibes which matched were somebody who is very honest with you, who shares his ideas freely without any fear of being stolen, and you also share the same your own ideas with him without any fear that, oh, that person might steal you have your own expertise. Till now, when we are working, I'm working with Dr. Kashti Ballabh Joshi. I don't have any fear of my ideas being stolen by him, and he has no such. I hope he has no fear from me also, because we work, and I work in my own field and he works in his own field, and we collaborate together. And he's someone who encourages me and believes in my stupid and mad scientific ideas also. Sometimes I think whether it is possible or not. I said, maybe I'm crazy. But he says, no, 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 you have to think it can be. I say, no, it is not possible. I mean, I'm working on one idea, right? The idea obviously discussed with me with Professor Richard Gordon about diatom solar panels. Idea given in a review article, and I started believing in that idea. I said, no, we can have it one day. I mean, believe having your oil tank, every Indian house having his own oil tank, opening the tap, having your own oil. Sometimes I think, am I crazy? Would it be possible? And I mean, he's the one who believes, yes, it can be. You will do some one day. So besides that, you cannot do alone. Again, I say you cannot do alone. You need to inspire. You need to inspire young minds. So being in, when you are in the class, you answer their queries. Maybe they are very crazy, very sounds very silly sometimes. But you need to answer their queries with some real life example. I have seen personally that my student beside what I'm teaching them in the class, eye to eye contact, every one of you know, is very necessary. You a teacher as a teacher while teaching, I'm easily taken off if I don't find eye to eye contact. And one basic thing which I tell my students every time every new session with to whomsoever I go and teach, every student of my class knows that I openly say to my students, if you someday you don't feel like attending the class, but you think that you are coming to the class because of shortage of attendance, please don't do that. You can personally come and tell me, call me and say, ma'am, please mark my attendance, but I don't feel like coming to the class. Maybe for any reason, any of your personal reason, you don't want to come, you want to chat, you want to go outside, go, but you don't want to come. You tell me, I'll mark your, don't worry, I can take your extra class sometime. The point is, when I am in the class, I want eye to eye contact with my students, and they should be curiously listening. And if they want a break after continuous sessions of arts teaching, they enjoy when you tell them some life examples of your own struggle. And basically, I have seen that we all, as a teachers, we know that we have some very goody students who are always done with their work, always answering your queries, always doing what you are telling them to do. But not everyone is the top ranker in the class. We have some very weak students also in the class. They have some understanding, basically basic understanding of the English also. Besides, what they will understand the science is one thing. Sometimes they have difficulty understanding English, what to do. So this thing should be quite clear when I enter which language you want me to understand, which language is easier for you. So if they say both is fine, so I just go with whatever my students they demand, like you should be both Hindi or English or only Hindi or English, both ways. Because we have some students from very poor families who, I mean, it's not their fault that they don't understand English. So the thing is to motivate these students and to tell them, in spite of any problems, many students I hear they have some personal problems. Sometimes their parents, some parents they die, somebody very close to the family die, and they're not able to cope up. And that's the time when you need to literally come up with those students passionately and guide them, take their classes, inspire them that you can do wonders, and especially for the weak students. So, I mean, this is a small clip of my young students. I call them stars. Those will shine. They just need, what they need is small guidance. They don't need any money from you, anything from you, just a guidance. There are small faces, small stars, but I can recognize all of them. Vikas, who is in South Africa doing postdoc, Cloud Name Fellowship, Mrinal, IIT Indore, then Shraddhe, he is, I think, in IIT Roorkee, Priyanshu, she's in Deccan University, I think. Then Akshita, she's also in some foreign university in Australia. So they are motivated by when you inspire them that you can do, you have the caliber to do. So when I teach in the class and I see some dull faces, oh, do you understand? Yes, ma'am. Some loud voices are always coming, but some blank eyes are telling no, the things are not clear, and they hesitate saying because already you have explained the topic twice or maybe thrice, and I humbly say to that weak student, if you have not got, please don't hesitate. Come close to me. If you don't understand, just tell me. And then they very hesitatingly they say yes, they don't get it. And it's my humble duty to explain the whole topic to them again. And if they still do not get it, take their extra classes and make the things clear to them. So the student psychology is very important. I have seen some of my very weak students in graduation. how they have turned to be wonders during the post-graduation student. One of a student, I don't remember her name also, but during the graduation, she was very shy and uh, kind of a very weak student. And just a simple motivation made her one of the toppers in post-graduation. So it's not that they don't have ideas, but the thing is, even we have many ideas, but sometimes we just the lack of confidence, it just drags us away. So I just say that thinking is very essential. We need to think every time. We need to read. Reading is very important. Read as much as you can because it gives you new ideas. Obviously, you need to have your own original true idea. I'm just reminded of this thought by John Nash, who said, I can see there's a connection between not following the normal thinking and doing creative thinking. I wouldn't have good scientific ideas if I had thought more normally. So sometimes we think this is mad, this is crazy. No, this can't be. But it's quite true that when you start thinking normal as a normal person, sometimes the thing don't click, and sometimes when you are just sitting and it clicks, the idea it clicks, and you can always work on that idea. So being a woman, I have a lot of questions. I have a lot of I had suffered a lot of refrains for being a woman in science. So these are endless. Well, women who are in science, I guess they must have faced. So I had this lot of questions for myself and also from my lot of students. So on moving on to this phenomena, I came across again a very renowned woman scientist. I won't be naming her here. Um, so I was called for or selected for a conference or a workshop at ICTP Trieste, Italy. It was a workshop for what women feel and what women can do in science. And that one big conference, it just gave me one answer that what we can do. It was like women from different countries. I mean, all parts of the countries, they had selected women, and all were facing problems. I mean, there are some problems which women only face, I must add over here. And the answer which I got from there, one in single word, I must say, was ask. This is the home back thing which I brought. Always ask. Many times we are like hesitant, being a female, we are hesitant. No, we shouldn't ask. Or in a meeting, when we are on a meeting, no, what will they think? Oh, she is so silly. She does not know this. She does not know that. Or maybe anywhere, you just think that, oh, it's not wise to say. Or maybe in any public gathering, you are there for any social cause. Again, there you think, what will they think that she doesn't know anything? Or so the thing is always ask. Always. So this was a home back message I took. So I'm asking now. I have so many questions. I'm free to ask. But my journey had not been very, smooth. Whether it was personal or professional, I got so many rejections and failures. Rather, I should add, there were more failures than acceptance or some achievements. I still remember when my first individual paper got rejected with such embarrassing comments. Like I can't even tell you, I'm so embarrassed. I told my supervisor. I called my supervisor. I said they gave these comments. I'm worthless. I cannot do anything. I should stop doing science. I don't know anything. I won't be able to march ahead. And he told me, what do you think you are? Are you a Nobel laureate? Even Nobel laureates paper get rejected. Do you know that? I said, seriously, Nobel laureates paper get rejected? He said, yes, Nobel laureates paper also get rejected. I was so silly. I didn't know that also. I said, okay. He said, it's okay for papers to get rejected. Write again, improve it, submit it somewhere else. So still till date also, whenever my paper gets rejected, I am sick for a day. And my supervisor has always told me whenever you are demotivated, especially when your paper gets rejected, enjoy that day. I don't know how to enjoy it, but yes, I just don't do anything for that particular day. And Very next day, I'm stubbornly standing again and sitting in front of my computer, ready to submit it again. Many times I will add, whether it was in the Forensic Science Laboratory, Haryana, or over here, there are a lot of administrative constraints. There were a lot of administrative constraints. Uh, Boyko's fellowship. I'm now forgetting those things also. Uh, when at the edge of getting those fellowships, how I was stopped for going to attain those fellowships. So believe me, believing in myself or believing in the world going system, I just thought maybe in this huge world someday there is a small space hidden for me also. I will find it. I'll try to find it. Getting rejection for Yusuf, Marie Curie. So the list is long. Then, this ignition project was biotechnology ignition project, big barrack, across the three barriers. All the three scientific barriers I crossed, uh, being the PI. Third, the final barrier, I couldn't make it. That was the business barrier, business questions to market my things. And that day also I realized it was good I didn't open my biotech company because I'm not good in business. I can do only science. But yes, still, I think I should learn how to do how to promote my things. So I believed only one thing, that what I have is only hard work, which is mine, and rest I leave everything in space. Rest space has to decide where is my place in this space. I can just devote my hard work, nothing else I can devote. So there was no looking forward. So people only see what is in the homepage regarding the recently approved Indo-French project, nearly 3 crores, the DST nanomission project in 16, about 75 lakhs. Then the two projects at IIT Bombay under the INUP and NCPRE, then the Erasmus, then the Department of Biotechnology project, a small UGC project and DST project. So it was no looking forward rather from getting the projects or filing the patents. This was a patent we made for diofuel, the biofuel from the diatoms, or publishing in good journals as a corresponding author. It was no looking back, but still I'm struggling. Still, I want to make a place for myself. Or whether it was chairing a session at University of Cambridge in 2018 and receiving recently a Best Women Scientist Award. Uh, the journey is long, my friends, and I still believe I'm a great fan of John Nash, though he does not belong to my field. He says the best for the group comes when everything in the group does what's best for himself and the group too. Thank you very much. Do visit my homepage www.vandavinayak.com. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you, Vandana. You can exit the PowerPoint window now. It will be on the top. Okay. Yes. Yeah, it was really fabulous talk, Vandana. It was absolutely amazing. And especially your journey from, the army, parenthood, and whatever the discipline that your parents have taught you, and that childhood vignettes. And then, then subsequently you're taking up a profession in forensics, and your, experience with the police department. And yeah, I mean, it's amazing. And the life journey from Haryana all the way to, from Karnal all the way to, Cambridge, and yeah, I mean, Indo-French grant also, and right now in Sagar. Amazing. I think your story is going to inspire, thousands of listeners right now. They're watching the show, especially the women. And yes, so one of our focus area of this entire workshop is the women in science. So you're also part of this women in science group, right? So yes, that's amazing. Yeah, thank you so much for being part of this Academy sponsored program. It's supported by Indian Academy of Sciences Bangalore and INSA in New Delhi and NASI in Allahabad. So thank you so much on behalf of Academy and Central University of Punjab. Now I would like to go for some of the participants' question here. So we have one question from Anjana Srija, and Anjana Srija is asking, by the way, we have, two best participant award every day. One award actually, but today onwards, we are going to award two participants, the best participant award. And yes, so today the consensus among my team of 10 volunteer students, I always ask them whom they're recommending. So today's consensus, choice is that Anjana Srija. So congratulations, Anjana. And another name here is Rekha Kokkanti. So congratulations, Rekha Kokkanti. So if you have LinkedIn profile, you can share with me. I'm going to feature that in the, in our course website as well as in the Google groups. Okay, so let me first take the Anjana Srija's question. What made you feel as if you found your passion towards a particular subject, which made you what you are today?
Well, see, towards a particular subject, I'm doing some interdisciplinary science, right? So passion towards particular subject, I have not yet, winded up with my basic subject, that is the biochemistry and molecular biology. I'm still working. What I learned during my post graduation was tissue culturing. I'm still culturing the diatoms, but I had to find one particular motto why I'm doing it, right? Besides finding its utility for the community, which I did a lot for in the field of forensic sciences, I wanted to do like India, our country is having a lot of energy crisis. And one advantage India is having, India is a tropical country and we have a lot of sunlight, unlike the other countries. So if we could develop this particular solar panel, the temperature is main constraint, and finding this particular extremophile datum is another constraint. If we are successful in that, we could definitely make one such this solar panel, which would definitely, yield oil, harvest the oil. So tissue culture was my main passion, which I have not yet left. I'm still doing on it.
Great. So now let's go to the next question. Again by award winner, congrats Rekha. Rekha Kokkanti is asking, what is your message to students or researchers who aspire to procure their career in diversified fields? What is the key role, key role playing here? What is your take-home message related to this? Yeah.
So the key message which I want to give, like while working in any interdisciplinary science, it is very important to maintain your knowledge. I mean, what is your main knowledge? What is your main expertise on one hand? And moving into the diversified field is not bad, because like the science is interdisciplinary. Everywhere now you go, a person like how I got inspired also, this Professor Richard Gordon, with whom I'm who's my online mentor. Basically, if you see, he's a person who's PhD in maths, right? And he is right now he's retired, but he's working on embryogenesis. He's working on gynecology, working on different fields. But the thing is to maintain your major theme, major expertise on one hand, and finding its applications in different fields of sciences. So this is the way you can collaborate with people with different sciences, whether it's physics. I have collaborators with people in physics, people in chemistry. So it is very important to have your own expertise, your own theme, your own subject, and finding its applications in different fields, and so the way you can collaborate with different, scientists or people.
Very interesting. Coming to the next question, Rekha Kukanti again asking, what is the most fascinating thing you observed working on diatoms? Will it have an impact on nano engineering diatoms on scientific aspects?
Oh yes, diatoms, they have a very great aspect in nano engineering. So why? A very good question, I will say. Since diatoms, they are nature's silica. Their cell wall is made up of rigid silica. So that is the diatomaceous earth of, that is what Sir Alfred Nobel, he made dynamite from this diatomaceous earth, which is a silica. It serves so many purposes. It has so many applications in nanotechnology. You can just dope the diatom with so many metals, transition metals, and make its application there. They are basically the nanobots in nano technology. So whatever application you want to make, they are the drug vectors, richest source of biofuel. 30% of the crude oil you are using, as per the geologist's claim, is we are getting from the diatoms.
I see. Great. So coming to the next question by Urmila Chakraborty is asking, ma'am, during your lifelong journey, you have faced problems due to, have you faced any problem due to competing coworkers and people who have tried to pull you down or demotivate you? And how did you overcome such difficulties in case you had?
Yeah, I mean, these are the basic problems I think everyone faces. Some people face less, some people face more, and maybe females face 5% more than the males, I will say. As a human, I do get demotivated for a while, but it is very important to stand up and stand up for the right cause and keep moving. So it is also very essential. I mean, if you could have those one or two, not a cluster of good friends or a family, but just one or two friends with whom you can just vomit out whatever you felt that day, or maybe just vomit out towards the wall and to start up again. The thing is, you need to stand up again. This will happen. This is going to happen, but you cannot uh, fight and waste your energy on that. This is just bringing the negativity, and you're just wasting your energy on negativity. The thing is, leave it on one side. Those who create problems, that is their job, and your job is to work and to move on, and that is what you are for. So you need to move on. They do waste your time and energy, but it's okay. You need to stand up and move on.
All right, coming to the next one is Santosh Kumar Samal from Odisha is asking, ma'am, you have to sacrifice your postdoc for your family. How did you deal such situations where you have to sacrifice one thing for other, where the two things are equally important?
Yeah, I mean, that again adds up something very personal, because the situations were not at all. I got an offer from one of the professors in Canada. So the offer was clear, but there were so many things for me. Not, I mean, I was very much deprived of money, and a lot of other constraints were there. And my daughter was 1.5 years old. So I was not, I could hardly manage to do my PhD. So moving on from one town to Karnal, I was not stationed at that particular town where I was doing PhD. So I had to move every day on bus, and used to wake up at 3:30 in the morning and returning at 8 in the evening. So there was no question for me left than to get a job, a respectable job for myself, so as to take care of my daughter, and maybe later in life I could join the postdoc. So that couldn't happen that time, but later on I tried. Then there were some administrative constraints. So even now, I think if I get an opportunity when the right time comes, I will move on.
Coming to the next question, Vasudha Kak is asking, can I switch to do PhD in forensic science, being a postgraduate in microbiology, and what is the scope of forensic science in India after PhD?
Okay. See, if you want to get in academics, so as we all know, to getting in academics, PhD is a must. And also in the labs, at some points, PhD is must, not necessary, and because you can get you can get into labs with post graduation also. See, forensic is something not very new, but yes, it is evolving. The science is evolving, and if we have good researchers in forensic science, there's a lot of things to do in the forensic science. And you're saying you're postgraduate in different subject. So I'm not sure if because there needs to be PhD in the postgraduate in forensic science to get admitted in, especially in the university system. But I think if you go to IITs, their system is different. I mean, because I know one of my students who was postgraduate in forensic science, he got admission in PhD in biological sciences. So not in forensic science, in biological sciences. So yeah, it has a scope. This question is a very common question my students also ask, and I don't understand how to answer it because I think every science, every field you are passionate about, you are working on is good, provided you excel in that field, provided you are passionate about that. There is a lot of stagnancy in chemistry, in physics, in botany, microbiology, biotechnology, for any subject you talk. But the thing is, you need to find your niche in that particular place. You need to be passionate, whatever science you are doing. You need to be, the best in that. You need to devote your hard work in that. Then only you can excel either in forensic or in microbiology, any field you talk about. You need to work hard for that.
All right, so our next question is also quite related. Anjusha AJ is asking, I'm doing a PhD in physics. My area is nanomedicine. I'm interested in switching to forensic science after my PhD. What are the possibilities? Because I'm from physics background.
Okay. So I think being in physics background, as per the lab rules, I know they are taking people from physics in ballistics. So as such, medicines in forensic science, I mean, in toxicology, you will discover this nanomedicines and all those stuff. Yeah, you can switch on to toxicology or the ballistics field.
Okay. So Bogireddy Sahiti. Yes, Bogireddy Sahiti is asking, as we all know, forensic is an interesting, though it is a tough one. What do you suggest for a young mind to take forensic as a profession, and other tips you suggest for them? Yeah, I mean, general tips on forensics.
I mean, again, I will say, you first thing, there are different fields in forensic science. See, forensic science is an interdisciplinary subject, so it is not just one subject you are talking about. It's like it's having the DNA, it's having the biology, serology, the documents, the ballistics. So a scene of crime. So where the expert moves to different scene of crime and observes the scene of crime, records it, and makes his own opinion. So the point again I will add over here is, if you go into the laboratories, there is not much in research you can add on. But if you are inclined toward research, you need to join the university system. So in the laboratories, since I was in the laboratory, I started research. So you need to make a niche again if you want to go in the institutes and start research. So everyone has his own journey. Since I left the lab, I don't see any research going on there. So I mean, if you are interested, you need to find your own way. But my only one answer to all this question only is that you be passionate. Whatever you do, do with total, what you should say, dedication, with no, I mean, here and there, just focus on that. So it can be anything. You will attain excellence.
Well, another question is from Srishti Shila Barua. Ma'am, what is your opinion about online teaching? How do you think the current teaching trends will affect the student's life? It's very entirely different kind of question, but still, yeah.
See, online teaching, this is something not new. I mean, I have been watching this era from Coursera side. Even I have been taking courses from Coursera from a long time back. So that is online teaching. So it needs your, time, attention, dedication, how honest you can be towards your teacher online as you are in the classroom. So now we have so many applications like Zoom and whatnot, Google Meet, and it again. One thing which I would like to add in online teaching, many students during the online teaching, I have seen they switch off their videos. Uh, and when the class is large, you cannot focus much attention also. But only one basic thing which I mean, request my student is, don't switch off your videos. Please switch on your videos. I want to see if you are there, as if in the class. If I want to shift on the screen to maintain eye-to-eye contact. And yeah, one constraint which I know is uh, there for not many, but yes, few students is regarding the internet problem. But I think if during these times we are helpless, so it is going to find its way. I mean, we need to have it. This is a time of internet where everyone is having so many applications, smartphones. So I think if there is a will, there is a way. Unless and until there is a financial setback for a student, then the teacher, as an individual, need to help that student finding a different way, maybe through emailing and sending the presentations, asking him personally. I mean, there needs to find a way, separate way for that.
So here is another question from Nilima Dikshit. In this COVID-19 lockdown, students are mentioning about their boredom at home. How to handle them?
Oh, very good question. Yeah, that is quite obvious for the students, especially because I realize, because even I have been giving the online teaching to my students, and after the syllabus was complete, I could get messages. I can't even tell, like, ma'am, I'm feeling very disheartened, very low. What should I do? And then I started telling them about my own experience. You need to divert. Yeah, it is quite obvious, and do whatever you want which you love. It's okay. Like for as a teacher, as a researcher, I love doing research, so I'm writing chapters, reviews, finding my old junk articles, rewriting them. But for the postgraduate student or the PhD students, it is very different. Something story is very different. So they need to find some way. I mean, you cannot watch, television or something like that for all the time. You need some motivation. And if you ask me, I my students, they told me, "Ma'am, you inspired us for that." So while I was doing the online teaching, I joined the online Kathak classes. So this Kathak class teacher was from Jalandhar only, my hometown. And I started taking the online classes, and I started posting small clips on the social media on my website. And the students were getting motivated. Ma'am, then the messages, they start coming. Ma'am, I have started doing some sketches. Ma'am, even I learned Kathak. I have started rehearsing that. So it is very essential to, these things are nothing. They are just increasing the dopamine level in your mind. So besides the social media, which are just so intoxicating, leave them for a side. Yeah, for information, you should, you should be alert, because nowadays, even as researchers, teachers are posting a lot on the social media. But you should, constrain or refrain yourself from just getting intoxicated next page to next page. So limiting yourself, finding your own passion besides your studies, your research, some room for your own self, your own growth, happiness.
That's a fantastic piece of advice. Thank you so much. Yes, yeah, I totally agree with you. To find your own space in this chaos, right? Maybe for me, it's like a walk in the garden, or gardening, or meditation. So all this help, right? So yeah, hustle and bustle of the social media. It's always better to get out of it once in a while. So I will take one more question here. Pavan Raj Sridhar is asking, what is your take on belief in God? Do you think scientists who believe in pure reasoning should not believe in God? Yeah, this kind of
Oh,
philosophical or spiritual
yeah.
question.
Yeah, very philosophical question. I mean, it depends sometimes in the family you are brought up. So, and then your life journey continues, and your conflicting ideas, which are like coming to your, as you're evolving as a human being, they keeps on changing. So, I was brought up in a family where I've seen my father worshiping, my mother, just a casual. I mean, I hardly seen my mother in the, homemade temple, but my father a regular worshipper. So I was also inclined toward worshiping, every day in the morning. And as life came to me, since after my brother's demise or martyrdom, I stopped it altogether. I stopped it. And I never looked toward that side of temple or Gurudwara, never. I had no questions. As I told, there was a lot of behavioral changes in me, which I know have been there. And then when I started doing science, a lot of contradictions started coming to my mind, and also a fact of martyrdom of my brother. So I was becoming a kind of, you know, uh, non-believer. I won't say non-believer of God, of one particular idol, but yes, I do believe in, some supernatural power. Something is there. Some stars are there. Uh, even if I don't believe in, but I do believe in preachings. Preachings given by noble souls like Guru Nanak Dev Ji or Buddha. I do believe in some noble preachings, and some I personally believe that when I'm totally lost, devastated, when I think the world has ended for me, and that night when I sleep and the next morning when I wake up, I get a wake up call from God. That God for me is not some idol. For me, it's a supernatural, some power. It says when you are devastated, when you are done, I'm coming for your help. So I don't know whether it's Guru Nanak Dev Ji, whether it's Jesus Christ, or whether it's Shiva or Vishnu. So many names are there, but I do believe. And in my family, current family, my husband family, my daughter, they are physicists. They are. I don't know whether they believe in God or not. I have never seen them worshipping also. But I believe in something like this. Who says when you are lost completely, I'll come.
Yeah, fantastic. Yes, Dr. Vandana, it's amazing to have you here with us today. And we actually, we are actually at 6:40 now, so it's almost 10 minutes of shoot. And yes, it's amazing to always listen to you. Yeah, the session really went really nice with lots of questions, and of course, a lot of questions are still there. Probably we can have another session, once this meeting gets over. We are planning to have another this kind of interactive sessions coming soon, young investigators sessions in the channel. And yes, and coming to you, do you have any message to relate to the young leaders of tomorrow, especially the females, because women in science is one of the major theme of our workshop? Yes.
Yeah. I think one message which I can give at least to the young females, the researchers, is the problems will come. That is unavoidable. And especially for the females, a little more. The problems will come. But never learn to say, again, what my supervisor, Professor Dhawan, told me, learn to say no where you want, and never stop. The days would be very low, but never stop. If you think you want to do, you want your work to be done, stand up. The science will find its way. It's going to find a way for you. So never stop, just keep on moving. It's for rather everyone, not only females, a little more, but you need to, don't stop. People will try to stop you. Don't stop.
Okay, thank you so much. And it's nice to have you here. Goodbye. And before going, I would like to show you the tomorrow session for you all. So as you can see here, tomorrow we have got first talk is by Shahid Jamil. He is from the DBT India Alliance. Professor Jamil is also a fellow of all the Science Academy, a well-respected scientist in the country, a renowned name. And then comes Dr. Smita Jain from India Bioscience. So she is the CEO and director of this India Bioscience and a prolific writer, PhD from Indian Institute of Science, coming in the young investigators, young science leader team. Then at 3:30, our own Vice Chancellor, Professor R.K. Kohli, he is going to deliver his talk and his life's experience. And at 5:30 to 6:30, we have Mahesh Kumar at Indian Institute of Technology. That is the scheduled program. So Mahesh Kumar is the previous chair of the INEAS, and he's he's now an alumni of the INEAS, and now he's into GYA. So this is a plan for the tomorrow. So 11 a.m. I will see you all, and until then, goodbye.